Lightsabers hum, they light up the night. Pete and Nick keep the galaxy bright. From Tatooine sands to Endor trees, they're bringing the news with galactic ease. ATGLive, we're blasting away, talking Star Wars every Thursday. Interviews, opinions, and all the lore. Hop on the Falcon, they're opening the door. From Vader's breath to Grogu's charms, theories and chats, they keep us disarmed. Around the galaxy tonight, Chris and Kelsey keeping it tight. They're breaking news like a Death Star blast, taking your calls and reading your chats. The greatest guests and what you need to know. Pete and Nick lead the Star Wars show. ATGLive, we're blasting away, talking Star Wars every Thursday. Interviews, opinions, and all the lore. Hop on the Falcon, they're opening the door.
We're home.
Well, welcome to ATGLive, your Thursday night home for all things Star Wars. I'm one of your hosts, Pete Fletzer, and I'm joined by not Nick. It's not Nick. It rhymes with Nick. His name is Rick, and he's a pop culture dude who's been with us before. He does a bunch of stuff with Chris Ryans as well. Rick, how are you, my friend? How's it going?
I'm well. It's always
Excellent.
an honor to be here. I have to fill big shoes with Nick, but I'm just gonna roll with it and do my best.
Well, I think you can pull it off. I have confidence, and we get incredible tax cuts from Arkansas as long as we have one host that has a residence below the Mason-Dixon line. So it was really important that we brought somebody in who's not from the Philly area other than me and Chris. So it was real important that we had you come in. Not that we wouldn't want you anyway, but we're just saying there's it's complicated.
Sure. Well,
So,
Chris is a Cowboys fan, so he's kind of a hybrid.
yeah,
anyway.
right. He's an anomaly, I would say. Perspective, but so Rick, I'm very happy to see you. We haven't spoken in a while. I know you've been trying to catch up with Andor. Don't worry, we don't go into too much Andor stuff here on the Thursday night show. We want you to check out our podcast, which comes out literally the moment that the credits roll on Andor. Check out Road to Rebellion wherever you find podcasts, and you'll be able to get our takes and whatnot on it. But what's been we haven't spoken since Skeleton Crew, since Andor. What's been your favorite Star Wars thing in the last couple months?
Andor.
Yeah.
Andor. It's phenomenal. I just watched episode. I just watched episode 6 today, and so I'll catch up on 7, 8, 9. I traveled to Mexico, and I was texting Chris this earlier. I was trying to watch Andor on the plane. If I have one minor quibble of the show, an old man ears. Sometimes I don't know what it is, but I can't understand and hear the actors very well. And I sat in the very back of the plane there and to and from Mexico, and I could not hear a damn thing. About 10 minutes in, I went, okay, forget about it. But I was able to squeeze in episode 7 or 6 today. Phenomenal.
Cool. It's amazing. Well, I'm officially at that. I can't watch a show without subtitles on stage as well. It's all right. It happens to the best of us. It's okay. It just means that we've lived lives that have been filled with loud music and good times. That's all I'm saying.
Not a bad idea.
Not a bad thing. Well, we have a real special show for you tonight. We're going to be joined by Brandon Wainerdi from Docking Bay 94 and a whole bunch of great books, and he's a contributor to StarWars.com. We're going to get to him in a little bit. We want your voicemail. We want you to call in. We're going to put the link up this week at the end of the show again as well. And I can't start a show, though, unless I welcome our producer and our lore expert, Mr. Chris Ryans and Kelsey Puckett. How are you guys doing?
I'm doing all right. I hope you guys are doing well tonight.
Yeah, I mean, are you feeling better? Last 2 weeks we've spoken to you. You've been like fighting like some vicious plague. Are you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm doing better. Yes.
Okay, good, good.
Thank you
And-
for asking.
Yeah. And Mr. Ryans, how are things with you?
Pete,
Yes. It is. All right.
Pete, I'm not well, man.
No? What's
I'm
wrong?
still. Oh man.
Oh,
Episode
Rick left.
7, 8,
You
and 9. Is that why? Because I'm about to spoil something. I wasn't about to spoil anything. Rick, come back.
What happened, Rick? Come back. It's okay. He's on Texas internet, so who knows? So now would be your time. Yes, 7, 8, 9. Holy cow.
Ooh.
Kelsey, have you watched them?
I have.
Oh my
So
god.
good. Like
So good.
totally redeemed in my eyes. Like brought me back in.
Yeah. It's I mean, so when we heard Gorman Massacre, ooh, wow. I mean, that was a mass. That was some of it was borderline Saving Private Ryan kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
It was
They're
it was
just picking off like civilians left and right.
some of it was hard to watch, I have to admit. I mean, I don't mean that in a like I can't watch it sort of thing, but it was like that was strong. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm just letting Rick know that we lost him in case he's still talking, and we don't know what's going on. But yeah, Andor is really delivering to say the least. But yeah, do you guys have a good
They lore broke a little bit on this one because and if anything is going to get broken, as far not broken, but like erased as far as canon goes, it's going to be something from the comics, because there is a comic that shows how Cassian and K2SO met and all that.
Yep.
So, but they got rid of it. I'm not mad.
Yeah.
Like the comic story was cool, but this better fits. So why not?
Yeah.
Yeah, when it's something like that, I don't mind them rewriting the lore just a little bit to better fit their show. So I mean, I thought that worked.
Did you see that Gilroy had mentioned in an interview that there was actually another episode they were going to do, which was going to be just K2 like stuck on on like a freighter, and it was going to be like a monster movie. Like they had this whole concept of those KX droids, just how vicious and strong and wild they are, and he had this idea for creating like a horror episode. It was going to be episode number 9, he said.
So like Terminator on a cruise ship, like that would be great. Yeah.
That would be wild. I would love to see that. But hey, you guys know I'm like the biggest K2 fan. I'm really excited that he's clearly gonna finally appear in the next arc at some point. So that'll be great. So hey, and speaking of stuff, make sure to follow us on all your social media channels at the SSW Network. Go to the SSWnetwork.com. We just launched, and I should have had a graphic ready, but we just launched stickers, t-shirts, and a mug that says I have weird space friends everywhere, because weird space friends is our thing. And to use the line, it's just it was just so much fun. Nick and I went back and forth over text today, and Nick is not with us today because Nick is being a good dad, and he's hanging out with his kid who is doing a ballet thing. So we will we're gonna move on without Nick, and Rick is trying to get back in, but we're gonna take a real quick break, and when we come back, we will be joined by Brandon Wainerdi from Talking Bay 94 and Star Wars Celebration and StarWars.com and a handful of books that you've read and books that are coming out. So let's take a quick break, and we'll be back in just a minute with more ATG Live.
What's up, my fellow Gen X Star Wars fam? My name is Chris Ryans from Broaxium. You may know me from ATG's Force Connect that I co-hosted with Pete and Nick. Now, I'm the owner and operator of Broaxium Outpost, an online shop for all your action figure and collectibles needs like Star Wars Black Series, G.I. Joe Classified, Star Wars Vintage Collection, Marvel Legends, Star Wars Black Series and Vintage Collection, Transformers Studio Series, Star Wars Lightsabers and Helmets, Masters of the Universe, and much, much more, including Star Wars Action. Alright, I have a lot of Star Wars stuff, I'm just saying. Stop by and check out the store at www.broaxiumoutpost.com. Sign up to become a part of the Bounty Hunters Guild and stay updated on new pre-orders, sales, and exclusive Broaxium content. Find something you like? Use the promo code ATG10 for 10% off your first order. We have Star Wars figures, by the way.
Well, welcome back to ATG Live, your Star Wars home on Thursday nights. I am Pete Fletzer, one of your hosts. I'm waiting for Rick Shew to come back. I'm going to bring in Chris. Chris,
Hey.
you're going to co-host until Nick comes in. Or
Okey
Rick
dokey.
comes in, or Nick, whoever. I don't know. Somebody will come in at
If
some
you, want, you
point.
can call me Crick.
Rick. Oh. And let's see. Wait, here he comes. Hold on.
We got him.
Rick, are you there?
That was weird.
It's that Texas internet, man. It's that Texas internet.
That was weird. I've never had that happen.
Well, we're glad you're back, and we're also excited. I want to do a quick intro here of our guest, Brandon Wainerdi. He's a digital marketer, social strategist, writer, podcaster. He has a bachelor's and master's degree from Texas A&M, so hopefully his internet is working a little bit better than yours. Where he's written for StarWars.com. He hosts Talking Bay 94, which has been an award-winning podcast featuring all kinds of folks who have created Star Wars. He recently co-authored, was one of the authors of the Star Wars Encyclopedia, I think. I hope I don't have that wrong. I have the book just outside my door. Sure, I could have checked it. And he's also working on a whole bunch of other things. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Brandon Wainerdi. Brandon, there he is.
What's up? My internet is fine. That's all good. It's all fine. How's it going, y'all?
Good. How's it going with you?
It's going okay. Just hanging out. Just here I am.
Just hanging
Now,
out.
are you in Texas right now, Brandon?
I am in Austin, Texas. Not to blow up my spot, but that's where I am. Where are you? Where are you, Rick?
I'm right now outside of Houston in Cyprus.
Oh, see,
So-
I'm aware of these things. This is all great. Good to hear from Central Time Zone right here. Yeah.
How are the Longhorns treating you for me?
Bad. I hate it. So bad. We hate them. It's all good. We're gonna survive. Here we are. I
had to ask.
I'm a good A&M fan, but I am also the worst A&M fan of all time. I don't associate as much as I should, but also I truly live like a mile from UT campus, so I try not to make anyone upset, just for my own safety.
It's it's so funny because my son has been playing the NCAA football game, and he asked me one day, and I thought because I have another friend who went to A&M, and he turned around one day and he goes, "Hey, Dad, is Texas A&M good?" I was like,
No.
I'm not going to answer that.
The quick answer is no. The long answer is no. That's it. It is what it is. We're made to suffer. It's our lot in life, right?
Well, Brandon, I buzzed through your intro because you've been on the show with us before, but you've also done a ton of things in the multiple times that you've been there. So what are the key things people need to know about Brandon?
What are the key things?
Right.
Talking Bay 94, you hit on that. I do interviews with cast and crew. That's my podcast. And then I write for StarWars.com and Star Wars Insider. And I wrote, you were correct. I co-wrote the Star Wars Encyclopedia. And then I have another book coming out this fall, the Star Wars Encyclopedia of Starfighters and Other Vehicles, which is more of a middle grade book. But just kind of wheeling and dealing over here and doing whatever I can.
I always love seeing that. First of all, Brandon, you and I have kind of crossed paths over the internet. We met each other briefly at Star Wars Celebration in California. But, it's always great to see people that we've gotten to know online continue their success. And, I feel the same way about like Amy Rickow and Clayton Sandell and these people who have really, gone from the occasional, article here and there to get your names on books that, because you and I and Rick and Chris grew up on those books, and now that you're a part of them, that's so exciting, and I'm so happy for you every time I see your name pop up on a book. So
I appreciate that. Yeah, and that's good company to be in as well. So
yeah.
I thought it was Crick. Chris.
Crick.
It's Chris.
Crick.
It was Crick when Rick and Nick.
No. Crick. Good to see you again.
So and Pete, you mentioned Celebration. Brandon, you were obviously in Japan, right?
Yeah. I got back a couple weeks ago. Finally recovered probably this week just from the being tired and everything. But yeah, this Celebration was wild, and we can dive into it for sure because some fun stuff.
My first question personally, I'm just curious, what was the difference compared to others?
That's a good question. It's an interesting question for me specifically because this was my first Celebration. In Anaheim, I had done a tiny bit of writing for StarWars.com. I covered a couple panels, but it was kind of last minute, and so this was a little bit more. I covered Star Wars Celebration for StarWars.com, and so my experience was great. But I had a different badge. I was mostly backstage writing, which was really good. I mean, again, this was really a great experience, and was able to work really closely with some of the people that you mentioned a second ago. And I was able to get in like 8 a.m. to just like walk around, which was great. And I could just kind of like see what was going on and walk around and see all the little booths. And I'd go backstage. I'd write my little article. I'd go to the little panels. I'd write the little things. I'd walk around. Like, so I had I feel bad because in all these Facebook groups and all these things, like there were a lot of experiences that people had that might not have been ideal. And I think I had maybe the most ideal celebration of all time. I had a great 3 days in Japan. So
that's great. Did you find like the atmosphere, like being in Japan, did it have a bit of was there a different flair to it, or did it just sort of feel like a regular Star Wars Celebration just happens to be,
it's funny you say that because it was about half and half in the sense that I really think that probably, and I bet there are numbers out there, but I bet the majority of people that were there were not actually from Japan. I think that they were traveling like me. So even though if it was 60-40 or 70-30 of people like that, I've always been so impressed by the Japanese fan base of Star Wars, just with passion that they have, but also creativity and like how deep they go. And if anyone knows me, I love when people go really deep into Star Wars. And so seeing that passion up close was really great. I will say this is just me. And again, people that know me, I was ready to shop. I was ready to just the stupidest stuff you could possibly think of. And I was a little disappointed in the what's the word? The dealers. I was hoping for more. I had done a lot of shopping. I had been in Japan with my wife for 2 weeks, pretty much before that. But I kind of was holding myself a little bit. I was a good boy and not buying so many things. I was like, oh, there's gonna be a ton of stuff in the dealer room at Celebration, and there wasn't. But the exclusives were really good. The people were really great, and I enjoyed it, I think, more than London because the crowds were a little bit lighter, but at the same time, it's been really great to kind of see Celebration grow and see the different fan bases kind of growing with each other, and the Japanese fan base is no exception.
That's really great. Yeah,
I thought Star Wars was dead. That's what online fans.
Totally.
How was that even happening? If that's the case, I'm kidding.
There's a number about the number of first time. I think it was like 60% first time attendees to Celebration or something like that, which is just awesome. So
that's so great.
Again, it's really great. I cannot wait for the 50th anniversary celebration. That's gonna be crazy.
Oh man.
But I'm just so I remember when the first Star Wars Celebration Japan happened. What was that? 2009? Is that correct? It was like 15 years ago, and I was not able to attend. I think I was still in high school, and and so it was really great to kind of go back now and just be able to experience it and see what it was like.
That's awesome.
It is awesome.
So you not only were you there covering it for StarWars.com, you also hosted a conversation with the amazing Rob Coleman. Nick and I had the opportunity to talk to him and Hal Heckel for Podathon last year.
Nice.
Just, he's one of those guys, we were talking before about these were the books that we grew up with, and seeing his name and knowing who he is. But for someone like you who's spoken to so many behind the scenes creators, what was it like talking to the Rob Coleman?
It was really great, actually. Again, he was incredibly high on my list of people that I have not talked to after all these years. I've been very lucky, as you have, of getting to talk to different cast and crew over the years, and he always kind of was an elusive fellow. And so because it was in Japan, and he's currently based in Australia, he's in Sydney, and so it was a really exciting thing for me to be able to just kind of lock it in. It was kind of last minute. It took all the way down to the wire, and it really worked out. And he was just again, my panel was counter programming against the Andor season 2 panel, so it was very early in the morning. It was a lot more attention was focused on the very attractive cast that was up on the stage for Andor season 2. But he was just so great, and truly, it was so funny. Truly, you said his name, and then I'm looking in the corner of my laptop, and because I'd sent him the links yesterday for the episode that I posted yesterday, and he just responded. And so I'm like, oh, I wonder what he said, because like I read the first line, and he was like, "Thanks so much," which is good. He's happy with it. So nothing terrible. But I've done a lot of conversations, and this one really ranks very, very high. And I'm not just saying that because I'm promoting whatever, but he was just a master storyteller and really generous with his time, and I really couldn't ask for anything better. It was truly kind of a capstone for all of this.
You mentioned his storytelling abilities. Was there a specific story that stood out to you? Yeah.
So if you listen to the show, the first 20 minutes are, because what I do is I kind of just go chronologically someone's career, and so you don't even really hit Star Wars for like 30 minutes if you're talking to someone for an hour, which I really like. You just kind of talk through it, and it also gets them comfortable so that when you finally get to the Star Wars of it all, they're very kind of like, it's not like I've just been asking about Jar Jar Binks for an hour. But the first 20 minutes, he just talks about his story and about how he got to ILM, period. And it's this weird emotional buildup, and I was kind of following this journey on stage in a foreign country with people watching, and you're kind of just like on this journey with him, and you finally get to the moment where he gets to ILM, and then you get to the moment where he tells his dad that he got into ILM, and then it's like you could have just ended the podcast there after 20 minutes. It was like this emotional high that everyone, and it was like this collective gasp in the crowd. And again, I've only done a few live shows. I don't know about y'all, and it's just a different beast, and having everyone in that crowd go on that journey was really, really special, because everyone kind of just like let out a breath at the same time, and it was really kind of magical, actually. And so if you've never listened to Talking Bay 94 and you're like, well, I have 20 minutes to spare, listen to the first 20 minutes of the most recent episode and give it a shot, because none of it is because of me. It's all because of Rob Coleman, and it was really special.
That's really cool. Yes, and if you haven't listened to Talking Bay 94, what are you even doing with your life?
I don't know. They're living their life. They're having fun. They're not messing around. So
no, and Talking Bay has been around for quite some time, and I think we've asked you this before, but I'm curious because now that you've spoken to Rob, it's like for me, when I spoke to Hal Hickel the first time, he and I sort of talked offline about Phantom Menace and stuff. And he's like, we should get it. I'd love to have the three of us talk, you, me, and Rob. And I was like, I'd love to do that. It took us literally 3 years to get to that, just because of everything going on. But who is sort of on your bucket list? Let me add I'll split it in sort of two things that are kind of like, George Lucas is on there, right? But I mean, come on. I mean, it'd be great. It could happen. But so who's your realistic bucket list of people that you're kind of trying to get to and
still left? The number one for me, because again, I'm very lucky in the capacity that like I've kind of started to lump in just in my mind people I've interviewed for .com and Insider just a little bit, like like if I ever get the chance to double dip. So for instance, like I interviewed John Knoll for both Insider and for .com, and Insider's like 2 different issues, and like it's the longest interview he's ever done, and it's all in print. It's really beautiful. I'm like, okay, like if I never interview John Knoll for Talking About 94, it'll be okay. Similar Ben Burt for .com. I was like, okay, we did it. Like that was cool. It was very cool. Like we're getting there. The only person in that capacity that I haven't done anything for is Doug Chang. So Doug Chang right now is like kind of not even a white whale, because like it could happen. And a funny one, because again, I sat next to him. I know him, and I've never interviewed Phil Shostak. And
Mm.
and just as someone who loves the behind the scenes books and who's so inspired by him, he's kind of like up there where I'm like, I've chased it in different ways, like books will come out or whatever. And so I'm hoping with Andor, the art of Andor book cut, maybe that will get resolved. And then the other one that like I don't think will ever actually happen, and almost even more than George, but I do feel like she's kind of like set her piece and has done it at this point. At the start of the show, I really wanted Marsha Lucas. And I still obviously would really like to interview Marsha Lucas. I was able to meet her briefly twice, I guess. Once at the Academy Museum a few years ago, and then once at the 40th anniversary of Return of the Jedi. And so again, I've kind of weirdly crossed that off. So right now, like Doug Chang is number one. Sorry for the long answer, but that I think that's who we're going for. So if anyone knows Doug, just call him up. Like, hey, listen, 20 minutes of Rob Coleman and get back to us.
That's I mean, I ran into Doug Chang at Celebration in California, and you know, it was one of those like, do I stop and say hello, and I just said real briefly, I said, Doug, I just want to let you know I'm a huge fan. What you've done for Star Wars continues to be magic, and thank you so much. And he was just so friendly. Like I felt like, you know, he would be great for you. I would love to hear you talk to him.
Yeah, it'd be cool. Yeah, I've met I wrote him a letter. I wrote him a letter after Phantom Menace. I don't know how old I was. I was a weird kid. I wrote him a letter, Phantom Menace, and the Phantom Menace VHS, the deluxe edition, came with that like film cell, and then also the paperback small version. So I sent him that paperback small version of art of Episode 1, and he sent it. And again, I was 10, and he sent it back with a battle droid sketch in it. I'm like, this is pretty. I still have it. It's on the. I have it. And I'm like, that was great. And then I think it was. I don't think it was LA Celebration. I think it was Chicago Celebration. Because I carried around the hardcover art of Episode 1 in my bag, just knowing that he was around.
Right.
And like, I could run into him. And I like weirdly manifested that. And like he had done a panel, and then he was like, hey, right after this panel, I'm going to stand right outside at a table. If you have anything for me to sign or want a picture, here I am. And I was like, oh, great. And so he signed that for me somewhere, which is great. So all I have to say, Doug Chang, come on the show. To make it happen. I won't be weird about it. I'll be just like a little weird about it.
That's amazing, man. So going from, you know, being a podcaster to StarWars.com, so what was that transition like? How did that happen for you?
Yeah, it's a great question. It started during the pandemic. I kind of like the company I was working for went under, and I was like, what am I doing? What am I doing? And I had been doing Talking Bay for a couple years, and I actually found the contact for Star Wars Insider first before .com, and I transcribed a few of my interviews from Talking Bay. I turned them into kind of just articles that sounded like Star Wars Insider, and I just sent them to Star. And I was like, "Hey, here I am." And they didn't respond for like 6 months, and I think they were furloughed. It was something crazy. And they responded later, and they're like, "Hey, we'd love to do this." So I started writing for Star Wars Insider, and just kind of built that up. And then I'd actually reached out to, it was Dan Brooks at the time. I'd reached out to Dan Brooks probably like right after I graduated my master's program. So 5 years before that. And I was like, hey, here's some writing samples. I'd love to do this. And we were friendly, but like there was no space or whatever it was. And so it really took probably 5 years for me to get a DM saying, hey, would you like to write for StarWars.com? And I'd been doing a lot of other stuff at that time. I'd already been writing for Insider for probably 2 years. And so then I started writing for .com. And then that's really where it started to really kind of grow. And so I've been doing .com for a long time now. And then the DK opportunities have popped up during the Celebration London. And so that's kind of the new wave I'm writing on, just seeing what happens.
That's amazing, because you're also an author, obviously.
Yes.
So then,
I don't know.
You are. Can you share with us anything that you're doing now? Or
so Encyclopedia came out last fall, which was great, and that was a huge team. I think 5 of us were all working on different parts, and that was really exciting. And then while I was in Japan, I finished the final little drafts for this new book that's coming out, the Star Wars Encyclopedia of Starfighters and Other. The Star Wars Encyclopedia of Starfighters and Other Vehicles, which is it's a the book that came out during, I think, Force Awakens, which it's for middle grade, so probably like 10 to 15-year-olds, and each page is a different ship with different little factoids and all that stuff. Wow. So really great and really kind of up to date. It's all the way through Andor season 2, which is really great and really fun. It's funny, and this will come up, I'm sure, while I'm doing whatever promotion this fall, but I have never really been like a ship guy in the capacity that when there's a Star Wars trivia question, we all are very good at Star Wars trivia. My like weak spot, is always like, how many turrets does an AT-AT have, or whatever it is. Like I never think like that. And this is that book. This book requires that, and so I learned a lot. So now I think I would be very good at Star Wars trivia across the board. But it's been a lot of fun to kind of delve into that.
That's amazing.
I love it. And those are the kind of books that, again, as I said before, all of us on the screen, those were the things that got us between movies and got us into that next level. Yeah. And I love seeing my 12-year-old son when he finds out that there's a Starfighter book coming out. Unlike you, Brandon, who for some reason don't like Starfighters, but you're doing the book. You're weird. No, he's gonna freak out. That and the Clone Wars book, the Clone Trooper book.
Sure.
Yeah, and the other one that Jason Fry did, and those sort of things. So that's all the good stuff. Well, Brandon, if you'll stick around with us, we're going to do our news segment, which is we do it through a little bit of a different way than we used to do it. So if you'll hang out with us, we're going to talk about some news. And before I go to break, though, tell people where they can follow you, so we don't forget to do that near the end.
Oh yeah, you can follow me TalkingBay94 anywhere, Twitter, Instagram, wherever. And then actually, Brandon is my more personal. And then for anyone in Texas, I haven't even posted about this. This Saturday, I'm going to be at the North Richland Hills Library for their free comic book day. Their librarian reached out to me, who's like a friend of a friend, and so I'm giving a little talk for children about writing in Star Wars. So if you are anywhere near North Richland Hills in Texas, please come and say hi. It'll be fun.
I live in DFW part-time. That's where I'm from. That's where North Richland Hills is, by the way, guys.
Yes.
So
I
would love it. I'm not going to be there, but I would love to come to that.
It'll be fun. It'll be a fun
that is fun.
Yeah,
Good for you, man. That's cool.
But yes, that's me. So yeah, now we can go to the real stuff.
Awesome. Well, we're gonna. That is all real stuff. I can't wait. All right. Well, we're gonna take a quick break, and when we come back, we're gonna take a little spin around the galaxy. So we'll be back with more ATG Live in just a minute. Well, welcome back to ATG Live, your Thursday night home for all things Star Wars. We talk books, we talk Chris, what else do we do? Do we do recipes? No, but we should. And any recommendations, Chris? Is there anything else maybe we should add to that? I don't know.
Comical books?
Comic book? I don't know what those are. Those but we also love the news.
That's where we can report the news. We love reporting the news.
Oh, we in honor of our good friend Clinton Yates. He's a good friend, but I can't say his name because that's the way I am. I'm going to turn it over to our producer Kelsey Puckett as we take a quick spin around the galaxy. Kelsey.
Hey, Pete. It's okay.
How are you?
Talking's hard. It happens to all of us.
I know. I don't. You think after 6 years of podcasting and multiple years of doing this, I'd be able to.
It's only going to get worse from here.
I know. It's all going downhill. So for those of you who don't know, this is sort of like Around the Horn, the famous ESPN show. But we take on some of the Star Wars topics of the day. Kelsey gives out points, and at the end we declare a winner, and usually a loser. And I think I'm on an 0 for 2 streak, but that's okay. I can live with that. I can grow. I can get better.
You don't play to my strengths though, and I'm picking out the points. So
I have to remember things that Kelsey likes. Mention Han Solo at least once. You're probably going to be okay. So
maybe twice.
Right. Maybe twice. Get some extra points in there. All right, who are you going to go to first, Kelsey?
All right. I'm gonna go with Chris since he's in the middle. So Star Wars: The Last Order, the first official story set after the events of Rise of Skywalker, is coming out. The young adult novel written by Tristan Strong, author Kwame Mimbalia, will follow Finn and Janna in a post-war galaxy still healing from the scars of the First Order. Are you excited about this project?
No, not at all. The less black characters you throw in Star Wars, the better. No, I don't want to see that. No, I have been waiting for a Finn book. This is ridiculous. I'm upset that they did this. I cannot wait. It's going to be great. It's something that should have been done during the trilogy, but I'm glad that they're doing it anyway. And if they're going to start to populate this post Rise of Skywalker era, I'm all for it. The more, the better.
What about you, Brandon?
Pardon me, I'm drinking.
I am also very excited, and just like Chris said, anything they do post 9, the only thing, and off your beer can, I am just a little nervous because I do think that the Lando set up at the end of 9, and obviously Janna was like supposed to be Lando's, whatever that is. So I'm worried that they might be, blowing past that or not going to focus on that or whatever it is. That would be my only call out, just with how at least that little summary, which we know nothing. We haven't read the book. Who knows what they'll do? But that would be my only major call out. Otherwise, I'm going to read it first day and just make sure that everyone is good. Make sure all my friends are happy.
What about you, Rick?
I love the sequel trilogy, all 3 films. So I am on board. I've got a Last Jedi shirt on now. So anything that taps into those characters, I'm in, 100% in.
I feel like I'm sensing some sarcasm like across the board right now.
I'm not at all. I was kind of bracing myself for maybe Pete not liking my Rise of Skywalker love or something. Just prepare.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of Rise of Skywalker. This is true. This is
all
true.
right.
I'm going to convert you one day, my friend. We're going to watch it together. I'm going to show you the brilliance of that film. It's there, I promise.
Okay.
Pete, do you think you could get any points in the first round this week?
I do. I think I can do it. I can do it. Han Solo should be a part of this. No, that was no. I'm excited actually that they are continuing post sequel trilogy. That means also to me, and Brandon, you probably can't reply to this, but that means that there's people working from a story group perspective in that time era right now. If they're willing to start going there, that means, and we know that Kathleen has said that you have the Ryan Gosling movie, which is going to be there. You have the Rey movie, which is going to be there. So yeah, let's bring out, and honestly, as much as I'm excited that it's a book, I would kind of rather see Janna on screen. She has been in some great movies too. She's I don't want her character to just live in books and comics, I guess is what I'm saying. I'm excited that it's coming, and I'm excited that we're going back there. But bring Naomi Aki back to the screen in Star Wars. I definitely need to see that.
All right. You won yourself some points there. All right. So I'm gonna go to Brandon next. Natalie Portman wants Padme to return, but as a Jedi, are you buying into this?
I think it's great that she is talking about Star Wars. she posted on Instagram too. She posted like 3 beautiful photos of her being like, "We love Padme," which even 5 years ago, I'd been like, that is the craziest thing that's ever been posted. Right. So
Right.
that is even thinking about Star Wars in a positive way is huge. I'm not super into her Jedi idea, if only because Padme is such a strong character. And I don't like when sometimes actors are like, "Oh, I saw everyone else having fun with lightsabers. I also want to be a Jedi." I get it. I totally get it. And again, if she wants to be in Star Wars and be a Jedi, that's great. I do think she's been talking about so much. I don't know. You said it a little bit earlier, Pete, but I don't. I truly know nothing. Would she show up in Ahsoka season 2? Who knows? That's my.
Yeah.
Are they soft seeding this of her showing up in a flashback or her showing up as part of a vision that Anakin does or something? You know, I could totally see it happening. But who knows? As a Jedi, I don't know.
Pete, are you all in on this?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not in on the like Brandon. I'm not all in on the I'm not all in on the Jedi piece, but I am all into bringing Natalie Portman back. You know, the Saturday Night Live song where she talks about Phantom Menace is awesome. But yeah, I do think. Here's my only concern about this Ahsoka show right now is it's becoming a Clone Wars show, which is great, but just give us a freaking Clone Wars show. Let's do it that way. Again, we're saying this, we don't know. Like, they literally just started shooting the other day. We know that from Rosario Dawson making a post, but yeah, I mean, if she can come back there, and again, you know, these Star Wars actors only tend to mention Star Wars and then show up somewhere. So I'm excited about the possibility for sure. But no Jedi, please. It doesn't make sense.
What about you, Chris? I feel like I can see the excitement on your face.
Yeah, bring her back. As a Jedi, though, that's kind of dumb. But you know, yeah, bring her back in a flashback or something like that. If she's going to be in the Ahsoka show, you know, I don't think they even have to do any de-aging. She is barely aged since. So yeah, bring her back in some kind of flashback capacity and whatnot. But as a Jedi, that's come on, no, that's kind of dumb. It's like Mace Windu coming back. He's still falling. Mace Windu, he's still falling.
Fair. Rick?
Well, my thunder's gone because I was actually going to reference the Saturday Night Live bit that she did a few years ago, which was gold. And Brandon mentioned it would be wild to see a post from her 5 years ago. I agree. And I think it was around 3 or 4 years ago she did that parody video. Amazing. So, yes, bring her back. No, not as a Jedi, but bring back Mace Windu, please. Thank you.
Ooh,
all right. Well, since you're
purple lightsaber and all.
Let's bring back Tarkin while we're at it.
They did.
We did.
It's CG.
But there is a big difference.
No, bring it back post Death Star.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
He was floating around on a
his
piece
space particles. They came back together, and now he's living on Endor with other Ewoks. There's your story.
Well, since your thunder got stolen on that last one, I'll start with you first here. Tales of the Underground debuted on May 4th with Asajj Ventress and Cad Bane. Any thoughts on that?
I'm not up to speed on it, so no. But I love everything Star Wars content, and so I need to dive into it. So,
what about you, Brandon?
I watched it. I liked it. I do. There's all these like, there's nothing in here. What are we doing? This is a Star Wars show we didn't know existed a month ago, and here it is. And it's like really great and really beautiful and really interesting, and like 2 characters people like. And so yeah, I loved having new Star Wars. It was great.
Yeah, it looks beautiful,
and it was beautiful, and it was really great, especially seeing Asajj back. Like, that was really cool. And my whole thing, again, I know nothing, and I know nothing. All these storylines, all these threads, all these things that are happening, whether it's Obi-Wan Kenobi or these shows or books, they are setting up for something, and it's either going to be in this small show or something else. And it's fun to see them kind of slow play it, I think. So we'll see, but I really liked it.
Chris, did you watch it?
Of course. It was great. I thought that the Asajj Ventress bit would be the better of the two going in. but the Cad Bane story was something else. Like I like westerns and whatnot. And this was like an urban western story, and just a dynamic between these two childhood friends. I thought it was great. And I can't wait to see Asajj's story continue with I think the kid's name is Lyko. I can't wait to see it continue. It's going to be awesome.
Pete?
Yeah, it's funny. To me, the Asajj show episodes, that was a backdoor pilot. That was clearly the beginning of a show that's coming, which is great. I thought for a moment when not to spoil it. I'm going to spoil it. Sorry, Rick. It's okay. They're short shows. When the kid comes back and decides to stay with her, that's when I was like, oh, okay, this is definitely setting up something. This isn't just a little story about her. It's a story about them, which is great. The Cad Bane one, I'm a huge Cad Bane fan. I caught some flack at one point for, trying to create a Make Cad Bane Happen hashtag. I wanted to see him in live action, and we did. But what I want to see more of, and hopefully maybe we'll see it down the road, is I want to see that famous scene which got cut where Cad Bane fought Boba Fett, so that when you watch Book of Boba Fett, people like us who are just such deep nerds, and we know that there's a story that exists between Boba and Cad, it makes more sense when they fight each other in Book of Boba Fett. But yeah, bring it on, and let's see more Cad Bane for sure.
And a side note, underrated show, and that is an incredible scene. Okay.
Yes.
In there. Incredible. Underrated.
He's trying to get points. He's trying to get extra points.
Yeah. He's like, didn't watch it.
I had all these things to say, then the one thing I'm behind on, it lands on my lap. I'm like, okay, fair. Sure. Of course it does.
All right. Well, I gave you 2 pity points, so.
Fair. That's fair.
So Pete, I'm going back to you just because this is a super fun topic that we're gonna round out around the galaxy with.
Yes.
So a White House social media post intended to celebrate Star Wars Day and ignited backlash quickly from the fans. What did you make of the AI generated post?
First of all, the AI generated posts are insane. It's bizarre. As I said in my tweet, I won't say exactly the way I put it, but Donald Trump has never been that jacked in his life and never dreamt he could be. I'm not going to go into policy and politics. You all know how I feel about him, but it's hilarious. It's like when your friend is like, oh, my nephew likes Star Wars. He has the Vulcan ears. You're like, hey, you're kind of in the right neighborhood. I mean, to post about as the leader of the free world and have a red lightsaber in your hand is the wrong message. I don't care what you add to that tweet. You've missed the point of Star Wars completely. Or maybe you're trying to tell us something. Either way, it was bizarre, and it was just, it's not unusual anymore, and it's free. The week before he put himself in the Pope costume. So I don't know. It's somebody's got to take control of that and be an adult in the room before we do more of that sort of thing.
Rick, what'd you think of the red lightsaber choice?
Okay, so I'm gonna really have to bite my tongue, not go on rants on. I will not get into politics. I won't do it. I'll just say this because I have very strong opinions about these things and this man. But I'll say this: if you're going to call your political enemy the Sith and you're holding a red lightsaber, you don't know anything about Star Wars. So that's what I'll point out. Like at least get it right, I guess.
Show it to your social media manager, who probably would be able to say, just real quick, you should probably have a green lightsaber.
Yeah. Or a purple one. Bringing it back to Mace.
There we go.
And I'll leave it cut.
Brandon, did you think it was a red lightsaber? Because I saw some other people thinking it was orange.
I saw some people trying to say that it was an orange lightsaber, and those people are idiots. That's all. I have nothing else to add. I was gonna curse, and I don't want to curse on your show. That's all.
Yeah. Those are the same people that say, "Never mind, I'll shut up. I'm not gonna."
This could spin wildly out of control.
Up is down. That's the world we're in.
Chris, any thoughts?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I have plenty. I'm gonna leave that out because I don't want Secret Service. I say things like that guy or something like that. Now, he's in the absolutely opposite, bizarro, wrong physique, absolute right costume for pure evil. I'll leave it at that.
Very good.
All right. Well, Pete, you somehow won some points back this week, and it is your turn to have the floor.
Well, it's because Nick isn't here. That's the only reason. Nick has proven the last 3 weeks, and now by not being here this week, he's proven that he's the smart one out of the two of us. So,
well, at least you know.
Hey, wait a second.
Self-awareness is key, right?
Self-awareness, sure, yeah. Well, I will take the floor, and I will say, we are coming off May the 4th. It was a really, it's every year I think we come into. We went into 2025 and we thought, well, it's going to be a quiet year for Star Wars, and it hasn't been, and it's not going to be, and it continues to be great. I'm excited about all the things we heard about at Celebration. I'm excited for the finale of Andor, and I'm excited for things like Visions 3, but I think I'm really just excited about the pace now that Star Wars is taking. It's kind of slowing down a little bit. It's taking the time to make sure that what it's putting out is well thought out and really intentional, and not just trying to capitalize on the name. And again, obviously it's a business. I will never look at it any other way. That's just the reality of things. But I'm excited for the rest of this year for Star Wars, and that's really all I have to say at this point, Kelsey. Good. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you for the win.
You want to wrap us up and take us to break?
Sure, I can do that too. That's the other thing that I do. We are going to put the link in the chat if you want to give us a call. And we also will take just a couple minutes to talk to anybody who wants to jump in. Make sure to leave us voicemails so that we can play those during the week as well. But let's take a real quick break, and we'll be back with your calls in just a minute on more ATG Live.
Artu, where are you? Artu? Artu? Artu, you're on fire! R2-D2, you found a cigarette. Well, I don't think smoking is grown up at all. Because it's very dangerous. Smoking does dreadful things to your lungs and is very bad for your heart. Oh, well, I know I don't have one, but humans do, and I think we should set a good example. Well done, R2. Oh, hello. You know smoking is bad for your health, and it isn't grown up at all. So please, don't smoke. R2, do you really think I don't have a heart?
Well, welcome back to ATG Live, your Thursday night home for all things Star Wars. I'm Pete Fletzer, and I'm joined by Chris Ryans and Kelsey Puckett and Rick Shew. And tonight we're hanging out with Brandon Wainerdi. Hope you're having fun with us. Make sure to tell all your friends and family members, hey, you got Mother's Day this weekend. Here's what you do. When you're with mom and the rest of the family, say, by the way, I don't know what you guys do on Thursday nights, but you should be checking out this really fun Star Wars show at the SSW network called ATG. I don't know if that's how your conversations go. At family functions, but that's actually how they go at some of mine. So, but thank you so much for hanging out with us. We have a caller waiting to get in. We're going to take a real quick call from our usual suspect, Mr. Eric, aka Honest to Claude.
So who talks first? You talk first? I talk first?
There he is. Eric, how are you doing, bud?
Doing all right.
Good.
I mean, it's deeply ironic that he had a Sith lightsaber. I'll just say that because
was it ironic or was it intentional?
That is all about the destruction of this state right here. So I'll just put it at that. Anyway, how's it going?
Oh, I think we're doing pretty good. I think we're good. How have you been? How was your May the 4th? Let me ask you that.
It was all right. I watched was it Tales of Underworld. Had some fun with that. Loving seeing the backstory for Cad Bane. That was someone that I thought was cool, but I never like truly got really attached to him. I'm like, okay, I can see it now.
Yeah.
Also, I'm working on editing a new episode of Honest to Cloud with Finn Erso. He's a toy collector on Instagram.
Cool.
And if any of y'all are interested, if you're just like, Eric, I'm not some nerd. Like, I'm not going to read your script. Well, I have it on audio now. Okay? For all the freaky ass audio listeners, you're hooked up now.
What which app did you use for the voice? I started listening to it.
I put it in the description.
Okay.
In case you want to use it. I did it.
There are days that I don't feel like speaking.
I'm sorry, what?
There are days I don't feel like speaking, so it's good to know there's apps out there that can cover me.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I could have thrown money at you and just like, hey, this is how you pronounce it. I guess I just want to do it myself, and obviously I wasn't going to use my own voice. I stutter and stammer way too goddamn much.
That's part of why we love you, Eric. So do you have a rap name for Brandon before we let you go? So Brandon, every time Eric is on, he gives a rap name to our guest, and Rick too. I don't know if Rick's gotten one yet either.
Rick, I don't know if I made one. Brandon, I know I did. He's Lil Wayne.
Okay, Lil Wayne. I get it. That makes sense.
I guess by default, I'll probably use it for someone else, but Rick for now will just be Slick Rick.
That's fair. That's fair.
Because I'm not, so it's funny.
I mean, you have to be that slick.
Well, so honestly, Claude on YouTube, check it out. Listen to his script for episode 9. It's a lot of fun. I got about half an hour into it, so it's on my list. But now I'm driving 2 or 3 days a week, so it's on my list to finish up. And I will do my best to finish it by next week. So when you check in, I can give you my my full review.
Hell, maybe I'll have you on my show again, and we'll just
Let's do it. That would be fun. That'd be fun. Well, thanks for joining us, man. We'll talk to you soon. Well, guys, this has been a lot of fun talking Star Wars on a Thursday night. Is what we do, is what we love doing. And again, like I was saying before, it almost felt like this was going to be a year where there was nothing to talk about. And there's always something to talk about. There's always things going on. Brandon, I hope you'll come back when your Starfighter book comes out, because
here I am. I'm ready. I'm ready to roll. You let me know and I'll show up.
That's great. Rick, where can people find you on the interwebs to keep up with you?
So Dick Shoes is my my blue sky name. SHEWS, still play on words there. And then I still have friends from work. Let's chat. Shout out to Aaron Varola. I love you. I just want to say that. And we will be rebranding soon. And then I've got a great show rolling on the side with Chris Rhines and Mick Jameson. I got to call him Mick now, I guess. Called The Old Smoothies, that we record on Mondays.
Nice.
So it's already fun. We've done one episode and I love it.
Yep. That's amazing.
And hope to be able to buy Brandon a beer in Austin sometime if I run.
Hey, you let me know. I love drinking beers in Austin.
I'm there. I'll take it to Crown and Anchor Pub, my friend.
Oh, I love that place. What a great place.
There you go. Perfect.
Nice. Chris, what's new in the Bro Axiom shop this week?
No new merch this week, but I do have a new curated custom 2-pack set. Is a father and daughter set of the Ursos of Galen and Jyn Urso.
Nice.
That is on the site right now as a 2-pack. Comes with a couple of Rogue One comics as well. See, I got that going on. We did our first vendor table this past weekend for May the 4th weekend, and it went great. And I'm very happy. Yeah.
Excellent. Are you going to get that Black Series Commander Cody?
Is that that's the one that's in the old Revenge of the Sith packaging?
No, it's a new helmet, Commander Cody.
The helmet. I need to check on that because sometimes like my distributors like always puts me in for one of.
Well, let me know
so
if you're getting that one because I'll be placing that order for that one.
Gotcha.
But yes, I have ordered from Chris. You should order from Chris. You get a 10% off if you use ATG10? Is it the code? ATG10 for 10% off your first order. I love that. It's the best part. But hey, Kelsey, thank you so much for doing what you do and making it fun here for us as you do every week. And I saw you throwing something at your cat. I think that's I did catch that. I wasn't gonna let that go.
Well, he was being such an asshole. Like,
well, you know, that's what cats often do. So
I was trying so hard to be subtle there.
Well, you know, I'm not going to let it go. So,
well, I appreciate that. Makes things more fun.
Exactly. Well, thank you to everybody who joined us, watching, listening, hanging out, and Chris, may the force be with you.
Always.
Just one more round, friend, then homeward bound, friend. Don't forget me in your dreams. Just one more song, friend, and then so long, friend. The nights get shorter, it seems. Just one more rhyme, friend. Yes, it's a crime, friend. But you know time, friend. Time can fly. So it's good night, friend. Good night, but not goodbye.